Curious on hedging strategy, says Sam, whether it be for SPY or an individual stock. So I've talked before, and I want to start making more evergreen videos, which means, not just daily analysis, but videos you guys can continue to watch. As far as my hedging strategies, there's a couple of ways you can do it. On any options that you see, you're going to have a delta, whether you have calls or puts. If you have a negative delta, then that means obviously you have puts. If you have a regular delta, you have calls. The way that you hedge a position is you equal out the amount of delta entirely. So if I own, let's just say, like, I'm going to go into my bar replay right here, and let's just say that I go and I buy 100 shares right now of Tesla. My delta is 100 because one share equals one delta. So if you look at your calls right now and it's like plus 85 delta, that means for every single share or every single options contract that you own, it is equivalent to owning 88 shares of Tesla. That's what your exposure is, which is kind of cool. So you can actually, like, now, if you're someone with a smaller account and you're like, oh dude, like I got 100, or I'm sorry, 100 delta. Maybe I have 2 calls that are 50 delta a piece, right? 2 calls at 50 delta a piece. 2 of those contracts at a 50 delta, that's going to be a delta of 1 or 1.0. So that means you would basically have a delta of 1. And so what you're going to do is you're going to, well, times 100. So you'd have 100 delta because, you have 100 times that contract. So if you had a delta entirely of 100, then in order to actually hedge your position, you'd have to go short 100 shares. If your delta was 48, you'd have to go short 48 shares to have the same equal position. And that's called delta hedging, which I know a lot of you guys asked about me doing market maker videos. And the way that market makers make their money is they stay delta neutral. And you can actually make a lot of money being delta neutral if you are a market maker, because you're facilitating deals and you're making money off of volatility, which is not something I ever hear anybody talk about on YouTube when it comes to trading and investing. So I think that's something I can definitely share with you guys. But overall, I'm usually going to be delta neutral by adding puts into my position, or I could just short shares if I really wanted. And